Okay, here's a little demonstration about how to find the gradient of a line if you've just got the line. So the very first thing we need to remember is that rule for a line graph. So we say that we basically come up with a rule for the relationship between the x and the y variable in the format of y equals mx plus c. We know that m is the gradient. We know that that's the gradient, and we know that this is the y-intercept, the point at which the line's going to cross the y-axis when x is 0. Okay, we're finding the gradient. We know the rule of a straight line, the basic formula. So we talk about this as the rule of a straight line in gradient y-intercept form. And now we're trying to find the gradient. And we've just got the line. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to pick 2 points on this line that are pretty obvious. So I'm going to pick this one here. So at this point on the line, x is 3 and y is -2. Sorry, I'm quickly going to sharpen my pencil so it's clearer. And I'm going to pick this point here. And at this point here, x is -3 and y is -6. So these are just 2 points that I've selected on the line. The first thing I want to do is, when we're working out the gradient, essentially we're looking at we can make a little right angle triangle from the 2 points that we've identified on this line. And we're looking for the slope of that line here. Okay, so what we want to do is to find the gradient, you divide the rise, this is the rise, by the run. Okay. Now we can see that the rise runs parallel here to the y-axis. So essentially what I'm looking for is the difference between here and here. And I can see that these points here on the x-axis, the run is the difference between those points there. So the rise divided by the run will give us the gradient. So to work out the rise, I'm going to minus y1, which is here, from y2, which I'm going to say is that. So the rise would be y2 minus y1. And the run, so essentially we're saying -2 minus -6. What's the difference between these two? And the run, what's the difference between these two? Between x2, the difference, and x1. Okay, so where we start is by saying let x1, y1 equal, look, I can pick either one, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go with these guys. 3, -2. And then I'm going to say let x2, y2 equal -3, -6. All right, I remind myself of the formula for gradient. M equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And now it's a matter of substituting it in. So there's y2 is -6 minus y1 is -2. And I'm going to divide that by x2, -3, minus x1, which is 3. Okay, so the gradient for this line, m for this line, is -6 minus -2. So basically that works like a plus. So negative 6 plus 2 comes to negative 4, divided by negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. And that equals, so I'm dividing same signs, so the answer is positive. I know 2 goes into 4 twice, 2 goes into 6 3 times, so my gradient is 2/3. And you really need to remember to write a therefore statement. The gradient of the line that passes through what was x, x1, y1, we'll go 3, negative 2, and, sorry, I realise it's just falling off the page a little bit. I'll just move that up. And negative 3, negative 6 is 2/3. Let's just have a double check here. Does that make sense? Let's evaluate our answer. Positive 2/3. That's a positive gradient. Yeah, I think that looks pretty right.